Welcome back. And today I'm going to talk about what I was inspired to tell y'all during the service today. I mean, we had another great service and everything, more great music, and the sermon was awesome. But like I said, it more inspired me to tell y'all something. I mean, and I'm gonna entitle this "Listen to God" or know God's voice, or anyway. I'm going to tell you how I got to be doing what I am doing, why I'm doing these videos, and why I post this to the internet. I felt, when I was in church and our church was looking for a youth minister, I was in my 20s, and the church I went to was looking for a youth minister. And I was sitting there thinking in church, I'm like, hey, that sounds like something I should do. That sounds like I felt God calling me. But then, I leave, I get away from there, and I just going through my head, and I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. That's just you wanting some money from the church. You're looking for easy money. I was going by what the world always went by. Oh, preachers are just in it for the money, this, that, something else. So I just went on. I just kept doing what I was doing. Eventually we got a youth minister. It was actually my brother. He's a few years older than me. He ended up becoming the youth minister. We may have had one more before him, but he eventually, that's where he was. He was the youth minister. Well, it goes on, and later on in my life, I'm sitting at work, at my job, doing my job, and I hear a voice. Tells me, Matt, you're supposed to be a preacher. And then it comes to me again. Matt, you're supposed to be preaching. Why are you doing this? You need to go to school and you need to become a preacher. And then I go and I tell somebody about it, and he encourages me. I go to my minister, and and I tell him that I feel called to worship, and he's like, well, he said, that may be it. He said, you may be called to do this, you may be called to do that. He said, not everybody that's called into ministry is called to be the preacher of a church. And then I call and I start checking into going to school, and the school was actually the most encouraging person out there. It was like, oh yeah, we need to get you in here. We need to talk about how we can get you worked out so you can pay for this, how you can do it with your schedule at work and get everything worked out for you so you can get into this. Well, and I never went. Never talked to them. I called them a few times. We talked over the phone a couple of times about different things. They sent me a lot of stuff on it, and I never went into it because first off, I absolutely hate school, and second, I just lazy. Didn't kept discouraging myself. And things just went on in my life, and eventually, me and my first wife, the one I was with when I felt that, we got a divorce, which then I knew, yeah, there are churches out there that will take you, but yet it says in the Bible that you shouldn't, and I'm a Baptist, and in my church we believe that you shouldn't, and we don't normally allow it, so I just was like, what should I do? Heck, I was watching videos one night on YouTube, and I was watching one, and that's where I got my name from. I was watching a thing called Breaking NYC, and it's a guy moved to New York City, and he was just telling about his stuff, and somebody asked him, hey, can I do an episode about my hometown, this, that? And he said, yeah, I don't care. He said, it's do breaking, Alabama, breaking this, breaking that, whatever. And then this was on Saturday night. I go to bed, you know, and everything. And then I get up the next morning, go to church. And and our preacher said, hey, you need to started talking about the way social media has come into our life. He said it can be used for good or bad. He said, I want y'all to get on your Facebook, and Facebook for God, Twitter for God, this for God. He said, do everything, blog for God, post stuff on the internet, all your social medias, do it, and talk about the service today, talk about what you've read in the Bible, this, that. And I'm like, breaking GFBC. I'll talk about what goes on in church, what I've seen in church, and everything. And I did it. I got on fire for it for a little while, and then I kind of started fading away from it. And now, I'm back in church. I'm back going all the time, and I'm back putting these up and putting on there what I took away from church that day. And I may even put other things about my church experience on here, because originally I'd planned on doing it more like a vlog of me and what was going on with me in church. And like I said, and I may go to that and start posting more stuff about inside and what I do when I'm there, because like I said, I'm about to start singing in the choir here in a few weeks, and I may see if they'll let me bring the camera and video a little bit of what goes on in there at the actual practices and stuff like that, and some of the meet and greet beforehand and everything, and just some behind. I don't know. Like I said, that's originally what I thought about, but then this just got to me just sharing my feelings on here, and just me and the camera telling you about what had went on in church that day, what I've went through in my Bible that week, and what church has done for me and what it's brought to me, and I just share that with you. But like I said, I may start doing some of the other things, but that's something that I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that, because I mean, it's one thing sitting here in my bedroom, nobody around, talking to a camera, but taking this camera around and sharing things, I keep trying to do more and more of it, but like you see, I just get tongue-tied here, and I really will with people watching me, not just me and the camera. But that's how I got to where I am. And I just want to encourage you, if you feel God telling you to do something, do it. Because you're not going to think God's telling you to do something and it's the devil telling you to do it. If you are right with God and you're doing what you should and reading the Bible and things, and that it's God, go for it. Do what God has asked you to do, and don't second guess yourself. And thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.